Hi, Wealthy fam. Welcome back. It's Danny here, and today I wanted to look at the 4 years since my divorce. We're going to look at each and every year, including the initial starting point year, which was 2019, all the way up until 2023. And I'm excited to do this not only for myself, but also for you, just in case, someone is starting over, or you're going through something similar that I did, just to see like what the progress looks like for just a real regular girl, just out here trying her best, okay? And so we're gonna look at the locations of where I was, as well as the fixed expenses, my net worth, and my 2 credit scores. And for fixed expenses, that includes my rent, my utilities, as well as any of my extra bills like Spotify, my phone, all that kind of stuff. It just helps you be more consistent helps me be more consistent across like the calculations. And so if you're ready, let's get into it. Alrighty, so I've already tried to record this once, honey, and I didn't turn on my microphone because I haven't done this in a very long time. So I'm just going to put the screenshot on the screen instead of showing my screen recording, because I do not want to do that again. All right, so looking at December 2019, that was the month after I left the house that my ex-husband and I owned. Left him in the house, honey. So I moved to Oakland to be closer to the new job that I got right after Thanksgiving. And so this is the first full month of me being on my own. So my fixed expenses totaled $32.56. And so I want to call that out because I did end up moving somewhere that had free rent for 8 weeks, as well as $1,000 off for the 3rd month. Yeah. And so for January and February, I paid no rent, and my total for my fixed expenses were about $407. And then, that 3rd month I had like $1,000 off. And so the average was about $32.56. And so hopefully that makes sense, because it confused me when I looked back and I was like, girl, why were you paying rent? So this amount is the amount that I actually owed once all those concessions and stuff came off. I just didn't want to put $407 because that doesn't make sense. All right, moving on to my net worth. It was $14,392.17. And most of that was due to a Roth IRA that I had opened maybe a year or two beforehand, as well as some savings that I had. So when it was time to leave the home, my ex and I decided to split the emergency savings that we jointly shared, because I didn't have anything personal, which is a no-no and I will never do again. But hey, you live and you learn. And so I think that was about $7,000, but I did have to pay rent up front. I had to pay moving expenses. I had to end up getting furniture. I slept on a cot for like 2 months, y'all. So it was just, this is the amount, but most of that was in my Roth IRA. And then looking at my starting credit scores, 771 for TransUnion, and then 772 for Equifax. Now let's move on to 2020. And so we all know what happened in 2020, and it was sad and scary and very lonely. I was in and out of waves of very deep depression. But I was also able to save, because one, I hadn't been out on my own in over a decade, so I didn't really have an incentive to go anywhere, and then the world was shut down anyway, so I was at home. So you see here, I moved. Yes, I did. I moved to Sacramento, June 2020. I got out of that Oakland apartment 6 months later. And that was due to it being super small, it being in an area I wasn't familiar with. I'm already locked down anyway, shut down. That's what I meant, not locked down, like in a relationship. And so in my brain, I'm like, if I'm gonna be in the house 24/7, I want more space. Because keep in mind, I downsized from a 4-bedroom house to like a 400 square foot box in Oakland, and I was paying a crap ton of money. So I decided to move to Sacramento. My fixed expenses totaled $27.62, and I really loved that apartment. My net worth shot up to $82,474, which I'm so thankful for. About $25K was from the sale of the house, and then everything else is me just, y'all, I was like saving / investing maybe $2,000-3,000 a month because I was just being so aggressive, okay? And my credit score, they were about the same, 794 and 798. So that was December 2020. Now let's look at December 2021. And I gotta unhide it from myself, child. I don't know why I even hit it because I'm not sharing my screen. Okay, so in 2021, I decided to move again. And this time I decided to move all the way across the country to Greensboro, North Carolina. Now that it's 2023, I don't know why I did that. That's like one of my only regrets over the past 4 years. At that time, I felt alone. One of the only girlfriend that I had at the time, she like went to freaking Japan, and yeah, I wanted change, but I could have just came and visited. I didn't have to uproot myself and move. So that sucks, but hey, whatever. I'm here for now. So you see here, my fixed expenses dropped to $2,000 in $2,059. Why can I never say this right sometimes? $2,059.15, okay? And that's just because that's a small town, and I was getting a lot for my money. And my net worth, it increased again to $134. So $134,000. I'm not even going to try and say the other part. And like I said, it's just nothing major happened. I didn't start a business or anything crazy. I just literally was just throwing in, and the market was working in my favor. Looking at my credit score, no big change. 795 for TransUnion, 791 for Equifax. Now we're going into 2022, and that was the last time you saw me. No, the last time y'all saw me was March 2022. So I was still in Greensboro at the time. I decided to move again. Every June, I just get this itch to move. Moving from California to like that small town was a big mistake, like I mentioned earlier. I don't know why I did that. I had the bright idea that moving closer to family would give me a sense of family and community, and it didn't. And I moved like 10 miles, and I rarely saw people. I probably saw people 2 times in that year that came to visit me. So that sucked. So I decided to move to a more vibrant city, one where there are more young professionals, more of the things that I enjoy, like theater and the symphony and the arts, and more rooftops. And just, I wanted to live my whole Carrie Bradshaw life. So I decided to move to Charlotte. Anywho, so I got to Charlotte June 2022. By the end of 2022, I was paying on average $2,700 a month for my fixed expenses. There was an increase in a couple of things, my rent, as well as paying for a garage here because I'm, in the city center. What else? My insurance went up, like my car insurance went up, and something else. I don't know. Something else went up. Oh, I think this may be the year that I took on the phone plan. So for all those years, my ex and I, as well as my mother, were on the same phone plan, and then we decided to release ourselves. So that's what that is. My net worth didn't really change, and I looked it up, and the market just sucked during this time. I was still putting in a hefty amount, but I was also living more. So that's traveling, eating out, being out and about, just doing things. I got like a subscription to the symphony, like a season pass or whatever, all kinds of things. So I was just living more, and I think I deserved it. I mean, you get divorced right before a panorama, and then you're trapped in the house for almost 2 years, and then now you're finally in a city where you can like be and thrive. And so that's what I did. I thrived, or throve. Don't mind me. Anywho, my credit scores, and this is according to Credit Karma, by the way. So my credit scores were 804 and 800. That's it. All right, let's go on over to this year, and we're gonna do the end of November, which is like basically December 1st, whatever. So my net worth may go up, and I'll let you know when I do the next review. So you see there's really no change in my fixed expenses from last year to this year because I finally stayed put. I didn't want to, y'all. I was ready to go. But I did stay put, and my fixed expenses $27.34, and then my net worth did increase a great amount, which I'm so thankful for. And it's just amazing to look at where I am now to where I was, especially with all the things that I've been through since my divorce. Crazy. Anywho, net worth at $209,000, which is crazy. Okay. And then my credit score stayed pretty much the same at 804 and 803. And that is every year since my divorce. So 4 freaking years of growth and increase and learning about myself personally, financially, but you know, I stayed pretty consistent with my spending and all of that good stuff. And then I didn't include my totals for like my groceries, my gas, because all of that stuff varies based on like what was going on, whatever, and then me traveling and stuff like that. So that averages about $1,500 a month. Sometimes I spend $1,000, sometimes I spend way more. It just depends on what's going on. So let's look at the percent change, shall we? So with my fixed expenses, from where I started in Oakland to now in Charlotte, it's a 16% decrease, which is, I don't know. I feel like I could just be in California, you know what I'm saying? But we'll get there. My net worth increased a whopping 1,300%. Yeah, 1,300%. That's so crazy. Because just imagine if I gave this money to someone, there's nobody out here saying, oh, I'll give you a return of 1,300%. Where? Right. Right. Anywho, that's amazing. Amazing. And like I said, no sugar daddies, no nothing, no side jobs, nothing. This is just me and my 9 to 5 and me saving and investing just like a regular girl, okay? And then my credit scores increased about 4%. And I haven't done anything to make it increase even more. I just don't really care at this point. I'm not planning to buy anything, and I know I'll get a good rate either way. So that is my 4 years in review, y'all, and the percent changes and all of that good stuff. Definitely drop any questions or any ideas about what you want me to talk about next. But I'm really proud of myself. I'm not gonna cry, but it's just so crazy to see. Cause I remember, I don't have no tissue. I remember where I was in 2019. I remember And I know it's just numbers and money, but when you take care of your financial health, you can take care of everything else. I don't even care what I look like now. But thank you all for being here. And I'm going to go on and make me some cookies. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye, y'all.